a lot of what my character is hiding is revealed in that scene through the Nicole, the woman playing my wife. I think a lot of that comes out. She knows more than I think she does, and she calls me out on it at that moment. So I think in that scene, and again, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to give anything away, obviously, but I think in that scene, it really that's the turn of where I realize that she knows what I've been up to, or she thinks she knows.
Welcome to Survive the Shows.
Welcome everyone to this exciting interview segment here at Survive the Shows. I'm Desiree, and today we have the pleasure of sitting down with Matt Pohlkamp.
Hello.
Hello. Join us as we delve into Matthew's insights into his character on The Wife Who Knew Too Much. And thank you to join us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me again. It's good to see you.
For me too. So, talking about The Wife Who Knew Too Much, what initially attracted you to your role?
I think for me it was a different role because I got to play a high school football coach, which was really cool. I've never done that before. And also the production company that was doing it. I have a great relationship with them, and I've always had a great experience working with them. So they offered me the role, and I said absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
And how did you prepare emotionally and psychologically for your character's arc?
Well, I've never been in the situation which, of the movie, obviously. It'd be pretty bad if I was, but I guess I just kind of do what I usually do for roles that I haven't personally experienced what the character is going through. I just really just use my imagination and kind of just really imagine what it would be to be in the character's shoes, and just do the best I can with that. Because I think there's only so much you can really do, but once you're in the moment, in the scenes with the other actors and characters, I think things come to you that you didn't even think about, and just try to find some common ground um, of the experiences. I'm going way off track here. I'm getting out into the weeds. I don't know if that answered your question or not, but yeah, I just try to use my imagination as much as I can. Like what would it be like if I was actually, as Matt, in that position, and just let it rip and see what happens.
Great, amazing.
Yeah.
And what was the most challenging scene to film in this movie? And how did you overcome it on set?
The most challenging scene. I think they're all pretty challenging, but for this particular movie, we did. It's a takes place at a high school football game. One of the scenes are that. So I guess the challenging part was having all the extra actors coming in from the town and filling up the stadium, and just trying to stay focused on our scene with all of the crowd, because we had a lot of background actors from the town to fill in the football stadium. And I guess it was just there was a lot going on with them, with the action on the field. So I think there was just a lot to keep track of and stay focused on. That, and we had to deal with a lot of weather because we shot in Arkansas, and there were like tornado warnings, and there was a hailstorm. So we had to really work around that. And actually, the production was delayed for 2 days because of the tornadoes that were coming through town. So that was a challenge too.
Yeah.
Mother Nature.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And your character makes a pivotal decision halfway through the film. What was your process to finding its motivation?
I think, well, my character definitely may come across as I don't want to say a bad guy because I don't think I'm a bad guy in it. I am just trying to basically save the future of one of my athletes. So I think just coming to terms with facing the music of what I've done in the movie. I can't really say a whole lot. I don't want to ruin it for you. But just balancing my family and the future of my star athlete that I
Yeah,
coach in the film, coming to terms with that, and how do I figure out how to balance both. That answers your question without giving too much away.
exactly.
Okay.
And how did you collaborate with the director to shape your performance?
um, which actor? Because repeat. I'm sorry. Repeat the question.
How did you collaborate with the director of the movie to shape your performance?
Oh, with a director. Yeah, so this is my first time working with Bennett Laster. He's a great guy. I've actually known him for a while. I met him a few years ago at a soccer game, actually, football game. And we finally got to work together. We shot this back in April. And Bennett was great. He was one of the best directors I've worked with. He You could tell he was really passionate about this movie meant something to him, and we had a couple phone calls about what he kind of saw in the character,
Mhm.
and then we collaborated with what I saw, and then we actually talked on the phone, and then at the hotel when we had a couple days delayed of the movie, we talked a little bit. He had some ideas about my relationship with my daughter, which weren't necessarily in the script. We thought that I should have more of a relationship with my daughter because that really wasn't written in the script initially. So we kind of went back and forth with that, and I think we kind of hit that sweet spot with it. Oops, my camera almost fell. We kind of hit that sweet spot with the relationship with the daughter. I think which the story needed. But yeah, so Bennett's great. First time working with him, and I really hope we work together again. He's a great guy, and he's becoming a friend as well, which is really cool.
That's
Yeah.
great. And was there a moment during rehearsal or filming that surprised you about your character?
Yeah. Actually, I think working with the guy who played my star quarterback in the movie, his name is Steven. And it's funny because we're actually from the same area of the country originally in Ohio. I
Okay.
think that we had a good scene in the locker room where, we would rehearse a little bit beforehand and go over the lines and things like that. But we really had this kind of butting of heads in this scene, and hopefully it'll come across in the movie. But it was really surprising that he and I were able to really like. It felt very real, which is what you want, right? But
Yeah,
we had and with him, he's such a great actor that he had this confliction of him dealing with what happens to him in the movie and then doing what's right, and me trying to keep him, focused on what's important to me as the game.
yeah,
And we really had a cool thing happen. And again, I don't know if it'll come across in the movie or not, but regardless, it was just really cool to experience something like that at all, let alone with the cameras rolling. So we'll see. But that was a really cool experience that we didn't really rehearse. You can't really rehearse something like that necessarily, if that makes any sense.
yeah, I understand. So the film explores themes of trust and betrayal. How do you personally relate to those themes on and off camera?
Repeat that,
The
please.
film explores themes of trust and betrayal. How do
Mhm.
you personally relate to those themes on and off camera?
Well, I think Being honest, that's a good question. Being honest, but not too honest. Oh man, that's hard to answer. I guess just being honest with yourself and honest with other people in a way that doesn't hurt the other person, or I don't know, I guess it's finding a middle ground between saying too much and not enough
Okay.
without being deceiving. I think that's in the movie, and then that's also in life. You want to be an honest person, but being too honest can sometimes hurt other people or get yourself in trouble. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
That's a good one. You always have these really surprising, difficult questions. I feel like I'm in school. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Yeah. And can you share? This is easy. Can you share any anecdotes from behind the scenes that sheds light on the cast's chemistry?
Any what?
Any
I'm sorry.
anecdotes? Any behind the scenes story? Okay.
Um, yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. I think just working with the girl who played my wife was really special because this was her first lead
Oh,
in a Lifetime movie. Her name is Nicole. Have you interviewed her yet?
no, not yet.
No. Yeah,
Unfortunately, no.
she's a very interesting person for sure, a great person. But I think just working with her and seeing her process, because she comes from a theater background and she was great. So I think like we had this really cool scene that we shot kind of really late. I think it was like 2 in the morning um, when we shot it, and just us kind of just waiting. They're setting everything up, and us just waiting for them to call us. We really, again, we were kind of going over the lines and things like that, and it's just finding a really cool connection with her before this big scene. It's a big scene in the movie, but I think it being very late at night and us just completely exhausted from the day of shooting. This was the last thing we we're shooting that night, and just being alone together in this room in the dark, kind of just going over what's about to happen was a really cool behind the scenes experience for me and for her, I think. And I think we really brought that into the scene, um, which I hope comes across. But yeah, that was a really cool behind the scenes type moment for me. There was actually a lot with this group of actors that I'd never worked with. A lot of them were relatively new in the Lifetime world, so they were
Yeah,
very excited and passionate about it. But I had a lot of really cool behind the scenes moments with a lot of them. It was great.
amazing.
Long answer.
And which scene do you think best encapsulates and shows your character's journey and why?
I would think actually the one I was just talking about, the one that we shot late at night,
Yeah,
because I think a lot of what my character is hiding is revealed in that scene through the Nicole, the woman playing my wife. I think a lot of that comes out. She knows more than I think she does, and she calls me out on it at that moment. So I think in that scene, and again, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to give anything away, obviously, but I think in that scene, it really that's the turn of where I realize that she knows what I've been up to, or she thinks she knows, and I'm in like survival mode at that point. I which way do I go? Like we were talking about before, do I say too much, get myself in trouble? Do I hold back and preserve? What do I do? And I think that scene right there was the one for me. Yeah.
great. And did you draw inspiration from any real life events or figures, person, when crafting your character?
Yeah, I mean, I think I always do to an extent. I mean, what else do you have other than your own life experience, you know? I mean, the specifics may not be the same, you know, hopefully not in a lot of these movies, you know. You're talking about killing people and all of that, but I feel like, yeah, if you can find something in the same category as what, you know, generally in the same category as what the character is going through, um, your specifics in that category will be different, but it's the same general thing. So I feel like, yeah, you try and get as close to the specific as possible, and kind of fill in the holes and the gaps around it with your imagination. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because you only experience, you know, personally so much in life that if a character calls for something you haven't experienced, you got to kind of make it up. You know, find the area of it, whether it be lying. I mean, we've all lied before, but what have we lied about? Something as dramatic as what you see in a Lifetime movie, or you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's like finding the category and then filling in, you know, the specifics with your imagination as much as you can. Yeah, that's what I try to do.
yeah. And if you could change one thing about your character's arc, what would it be and why?
Um, you know, I don't know if I would change anything really, because it's a good story. The writer was very talented in what they wrote. Um, and I enjoyed the arc of the character. So I don't think I would change anything. Maybe that's for the next movie, you know?
Yeah,
So for this one, it was perfect.
great.
Yeah.
And what do you hope audiences will take away from this movie?
I hope they'll have a lot of fun watching it. It's a little different. Again, the backdrop of the movie is high school football. So we had a lot of amazing local people that donated their time and their resources to the film, which was amazing. We have the local cheerleaders at the high school, the football team, the marching band. So we have a lot of really cool, authentic production value in this movie, which is great. So I really think it's going to be a bit different than a lot of, you know, your typical Lifetime movie, just with the production value of things. So I want people to take away, just I want them to, you know, enjoy the ride of the movie and, you know, not have to think too much about it, right? Just follow along and enjoy, and a laugh here and there, you know.
Yeah,
And just it's a fun, good script, um, and I just want people to enjoy it. Yeah.
great. So change of subject,
Mhm.
talking about your career in general. Uh, Looking back, what was the pivotal role or moment that made you realize acting was your path?
So, what was like the pivotal project that kind of formed?
Yeah, and you decided that acting was your choice, your
I um I don't know if there was one really. I got into acting very late in life, well, later than usual, because I used to race bicycles professionally. And I basically started acting class as like therapy, really. I never acted in high school or anything like that. So it's been more of a therapy for me. So I think every role that I've gotten has been pivotal for me, because this is not a career that I wanted to, you know, to be a part of, you know,
okay.
growing up. So I feel like um, every single role I get has meaning and is pivotal for me and, turning me into the direction that I want to continue to go. So every project is important to me and means a lot because I learn something from every project. And I feel like every project you're going to experience things that you didn't anticipate, and whether it be good or bad. And I think, learning from each and every single one, you grow and you become a better actor and a better person.
Yeah. And so you mentioned that you was a professional, but please say again, professional?
Uh, Professional bicycle racer, a BMX.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that background?
Yeah, I mean, I started when I was like 10 years old. I saw it on TV and I was like, I have to do that. Oh my gosh. So, long story short, I competed at a local level and then I got better, competed at a state level and then a national level. And then I turned professional when I was like 21 and then competed around the world doing it. And it became my career. That's what I did for a living for probably about 15 years. And then got into acting as I said before, kind of as therapy, a little break, mental break from the training and competing of bike racing. And then got a passion for acting and just kind of the ball rolled and I just started and here I am. So yeah, but
Amazing.
thank you.
Great. And you compete internationally in Europe too?
Oh
Or
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
oh,
I
okay.
did. I since retired from competing, but yeah, I competed in Denmark. I've been in China, Japan, Holland, France,
Oh,
everywhere. Not Italy,
no.
but
Okay.
not, close. But yeah, New Zealand, yeah, everywhere. So it's been a fantastic ride, and yeah, it's been wild.
Great. And how has your approach to character building evolved since your earliest projects?
Um, well, for one, um, I'm older, so I've experienced more in life. So I have more experiences and specifics you know, to use and act, and work from actual experience, right? So I feel like just, being more trusting myself more, not trying to do things the right way necessarily, because I think that that'll lock you up. If you like, I have to do this a certain way. I have to do it the right way. I think that locks you up. So I feel like over the years, I've realized and learned to just trust myself, to trust my instincts. At the end of the day, if you don't do the scene the right way, they don't have to use that take. So I guess it's just from the very first project to now, and again, it never ends, right? I mean, you're learning every day, but I just feel like just trusting myself more and not worrying about doing it right, being more wrong. Like let's do this take wrong, wrong. And that usually ends up probably being the better version of what you're doing. Trusting yourself and not having to do it the right way.
Yeah,
So it seems to help. It gives me more freedom to try things and to not be so locked up, which is a horrible feeling. You
yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah. And are there any genres or type of roles you have yet to explore but feel drawn to if you would love to explore?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I in the Lifetime movies, I've kind of done both sides of like, the good husband who's like the rock throughout the whole way and he's just kind of there to support. But I really like appearing to be that way, but being the bad guy. And I've done that quite a few times too. But I feel like I'm open to whatever, characters are presented to me. But I definitely like the character where you think he's the good guy, but he's hiding something, or he's in survival mode and you don't know that he is and why. But yeah, I think more characters like that would be good for me. I really enjoy that because there's more to it. There's more layers. There's more stuff to have fun with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. And which directors or actors and actresses and directors, female, it's not a question, have
Mhm.
had the biggest influence on your work ethic and style?
Um, I would say Ray Liotta.
Okay.
Do you know Ray Liotta? He passed away a couple years ago. He was in Goodfellas, and anyway, he used to go to my gym, and
Oh,
I met him kind of early when I first started acting, and I used to pick his brain for advice, and he referred me to his coach that he trained with. And I think at that point where I was just looking for, any kind of guidance in acting because I was so new at it and I had no idea what was going on. But I think just him taking the time out, rest in peace, he passed away. Um, but I think just him here and there, just giving me little bits of information, like just kind of advice and things coming from this guy was amazing. And I think at that time in my life and in my career, it meant a lot coming from somebody like him. So off the top, I mean, there's a bunch, but off the top of my head, Ray comes to mind for sure.
great.
Yeah.
And talking about your life in general, who were your role models growing up, both within and outside the sports, in your case,
Yeah.
industry?
I would have to say my older brothers were my heroes basically. They're 13 years older than me, so they were quite a
Yeah,
bit. So yeah, but they were my heroes, both of them. To this day, they both are my heroes and kind of like the benchmark of the kind of man that I want to be. Um, but yeah, my brothers for sure, my family, absolutely.
great. And I think one of them passion you took earlier, but what non-acting passions or hobbies help recharge you between projects?
It would be I do a lot of mountain biking now,
Yeah.
where I probably am riding a little bit more aggressively than I should at this point in my life. I do a lot of jumping and big drop offs and things like that. But yeah, I definitely do that. There's a DP. His name is Lars Lindstrom. I don't know if you know him. He does a lot of Lifetime movies and things. Anyway, I met him doing a Lifetime movie a few years ago, and
Yeah.
it turned out that he rides mountain bikes as well. So we've become really good friends, and we go riding. We rode last week, and I think we're going to ride this week as well. So in between stuff, if I don't have anything booked, I'll go out and ride and have fun. But if I do have something on the schedule, I won't ride just in case, if I crash and get hurt and knock my teeth
Yeah.
out, knock on wood. But yeah, so it's definitely riding the mountain bike is probably my favorite thing to do, just to keep me balanced, because if you're thinking about acting and work too much, it'll, so you have to have something else in your life,
Yeah.
just so you don't go crazy,
Yeah, exactly.
you know? Yeah.
I know. So, talking about your future projects,
Mhm.
if you could collaborate with any filmmaker, past or present, who would it be and why?
Let's see. I think it would be people in my circle already.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I have a lot of talented friends that I've met through projects that I've done. And I would like for all of us, and I do have something in the works that might make this a reality, but I would like to have the talented people that I've worked with. I would like us to start making projects, do like what, Adam Sandler, he has his group of people, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of
Yeah.
pods of people out there that they all work together for many years making really good projects. And that's what I want to do. So, and I'm heading in that direction right now. I'll have more details soon. But
Great.
yeah, I think that would be it. Because I've got a lot of talented people around me, and it'd be great for us to do our own thing. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So the last question, uh, can you share more about your upcoming projects? What's next for you?
Yeah, let's see. So we have The Wife Who Knew Too Much coming out, as you know. That's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
I just had something air. Uh, I guess it was over the weekend or a few days ago called Stranger with My Name. It was on LMN. I don't
Yeah.
know if you saw that one or not. That
Yeah.
just premiered. And also, I just did an episode of Criminal Minds. Are you familiar with that show?
Yeah. A
Criminal
little.
Minds. It's on ABC. I think they've done like this is like their 19th season, so they've been around for a long time. But I did an episode of that about a week and a half ago, which was a lot of fun. It was a big show, so it was really good. I'm not sure when that comes out. It's the 19th season. It might not come out until next year. I don't even know. I'm not sure. But I got to work with the director is Adam Rodriguez, and he's a friend of mine from the gym that I've known for like 12 years. So it was really cool to finally, work with him. And he was an amazing director, and just great to work with a good friend and a great talent. So there's that. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but yeah, we'll be on the lookout, I guess. It was a pretty intense episode, so I'm looking forward to see how it turns out.
Great.
Yeah.
So this is it. Make sure all of you to coach The Wife Who Knew Too Much this Sunday night on Lifetime Channel. And thank you, Matt, to join us today.
Of course, it was great seeing you again, and thanks to you for reaching out.
It's amazing for me too. And
Okay.
thank you all for watching.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.